So I've received a check from Sunburst Homes, and it is to pay Northwest Alabama Mental Health Center. All of the A1 Appliance Huntsville branch customers are between the numbers 1 and 9,999. This one that starts with 60,000 is a Decatur store. However, I see over here that all the stores that this company purchases from is actually Jasper. So therefore, when I receive money to the Huntsville store that actually needs to pay for Jasper, this is how I do it. I would first of all stick it in the bank just like normal. 60419 is paying for $38.68, and the invoice number is 211847. And I have to put the apply to store as 2. If you're in a Gadsden store, or you're in a Decatur store, or whatever, you're logged into store 6 or 5 or D or A. I'm logged into store 1, and automatically it is understood if this is blank that apply to is store 1. If I'm in a Decatur store, that apply to store is automatically 6. So if I'm going to change the apply to store because I can't find it and it's not purchased from store 1, I have to put the apply to store right here. That is just to be able to connect those that apply to in the ROA. Okay, so I'm going to put 2 here because that's the only way I can actually apply this number, is to put the store number that is actually purchased from. So I'm going to push enter, plus sign, the check amount was that, and the number is 9741. All right, so boom, that's the first step. The second step is I'm going to go to the ROA. So I go here, I can either type in ROA, or I'm going to put received on account here. So now I've got to actually tell Jasper Store that I took some of its money. And I'm going to do that by giving them an allowance, basically. I'm going to, let me just show you the steps. These are the branch store's numbers. So basically it's saying that Gadsden 1240 is our customer. It is saying here Jasper 1480 is our customer, and so on. Same for all the other stores. Every other store has its own customer. So Panhandle, our customer number for them is this. You guys get this because you probably already recognize a lot of these numbers within your own stores. So I'm going to find Jasper's store, which is store 2. That's 1418. And I'm going to go back to the received on account, and I'm going to push F12 twice or escape. Put 1418 here, and there's Jasper Store. This is how much they owe the Huntsville store. So now I'm going to tell Jasper, hey, you guys paid us. You paid us because a customer paid us for you. So I'm going to put in the check number that the customer put in, that they gave me the check for, and I'm going to put in $38.68. And in the reference, I put the word customer, or cust, I was just going to say cust, and say 60419, that is the name of the mental health center that purchased this under that number. And then I usually put the invoice numbers too that they're paying for. And that way, when Jasper goes to see how much they owe Huntsville and how much that they've been purchasing from us, this amount is gone now. This amount of $38.68. By the way, I push enter and pay that. And that way it looks like Jasper has paid us. In reality, the customer paid us and then we are paying Jasper back, but that's essentially what's happening here. And I'm hoping that this all makes sense. These are all the other times that customers have paid me and Huntsville has put it into our account. But then we've turned around and said, okay, Jasper no longer owes us this amount of money because the customer paid it to us instead. So that is how we do it. So if you're in Decatur, here's Decatur APD. You probably already know this, but A1's customer account to you guys is 60108. So say Decatur took a check and they were like, oh, this is actually a Huntsville check. Well, you can deposit it into your account and then turn around and tell Huntsville that you took money from us by those ways that I just showed you. 60108, you would go to ROA, 60108. This is how much Huntsville owes you. You would put the check number that the customer paid you with, the amount of the payment, and the reference you would put their customer number was that actually sent you the check. Also, say it's only part of the check. Say they paid $20 for your store and $50 for your store, but then $60. Oh, that's a Huntsville amount. Well, only put the $60 in. Put the check number, put the amount of $60 here, and then in the reference type customer, whoever the customer is, and the invoice that they're paying for. I hope this helps and doesn't confuse anybody. If you have any questions, please call me.